The Moon has been our closest celestial companion for almost the whole of our planet's history. But we've always speculated about where it came from and what it's made of. The story of the Moon starts at a time when the Earth was just a huge lump of rock and iron, sitting in the maelstrom that formed our solar system some 4.5 billion years ago. The environment in which the early Earth existed was chaotic. In all that confusion, it was hit by a smaller, rocky world. The collision almost broke both planets apart, but instead, the two bodies began to merge. Some debris from the impact was flung into orbit around the Earth. Gravity caused this mostly rocky material to clump together, forming our Moon. Back then, it was much closer to our world and would have looked spectacular, cooling on the horizon of the hot surface of Earth. Over the next few billion years, the Earth and the Moon exerted their gravitational forces on each other. The rotation of the Earth slowed, the Moon's orbital speed decreased, and it moved away from us. It now takes just over 27 days for it to orbit the Earth, and today it is 225,000 miles away. It's still drifting away at a rate of 3.78 centimetres per year. When it's full, the Moon is the brightest thing in the night sky. But through the month, its position in relation to the Sun changes, and that means its appearance changes as we witness the shadow of lunar nighttime passing over its cratered surface. When it's in complete shadow, it's called a new moon. These different appearances are called the phases of the Moon. Whenever we look up at it, we always see the same side staring back at us. Not surprisingly, astronomers have speculated about what the far side was like. We never saw it until the unmanned Russian probe Luna 3 went round the far side in 1959. These are the very images it sent back, rough and grainy, but still tantalising. Less than 10 years later, the Apollo 8 astronauts were the first humans to see the far side with the naked eye. They witnessed a much more densely cratered landscape than the more familiar near side.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Less than a year later, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin took their first steps on the Moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There's no atmosphere to speak of there, and the gravity is just 1/6 that of the Earth. So the heavy spacesuits weighed less, making it easy for them to bounce around on the lunar surface. When the rock samples they brought back were studied, they were found to be made of silicate minerals containing familiar stuff like aluminium, iron and magnesium. The temperature on the lunar surface during the day is 133 degrees centigrade, but some craters near the Moon's poles contain permanently shadowed regions that haven't seen sunlight for billions of years. It can get as cold as minus 185 degrees centigrade there, making them some of the coldest places we know of in the solar system. Most of our knowledge of the Moon has been gained in the last 50 years, and we're still learning. Just 2 years ago, we discovered traces of water frozen in the lunar soil, an intriguing discovery that adds to the mystery of our closest neighbour.